YouTube, it's ValleyGirl5678 here, and it's time for another album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first LP by everyone's favorite nepotism baby, Gracie Abrams, entitled Good Riddance. While this is her first LP, she has come out with projects in the past. Her minor EP came out in 2020, followed by This Is What It Feels Like in 2021. One of the main things that's very different about this project for Gracie, other than the fact that it's her first full album or LP, is that on those two previous EPs of hers, her main collaborator was her now very much ex, Blake Slatkin, I think is how you pronounce it, and he's obviously a producer. Now, don't be mistaken, he very much was producing songs that were written about him in different phases of their relationship as they were on and off for about 5 years. I think it's pretty clear that Gracie has fully moved on from that relationship now, which explains why she would bring in a new, and let's be real, more sick and iconic and just better producer, Aaron Dessner. If you don't know who Aaron Dessner is, he is the other man responsible for Taylor Swift's Folklore and Evermore alongside Jack Antonoff. He's also a member of The National, and they're actually coming out with a new album in a few weeks, so I think I'm definitely going to review that, especially since Miss Swift will be featured. But yeah, every song on this album is produced and co-written by Aaron Dessner. But yeah, enough of my Taylor Swift babbling, let's get into the album. The opening track, Best, is a great opening track, as the song thematically and sonically very much lays out the groundwork for the rest of the album. Obviously, there's no title track on this album, but the title, Good Riddance, is a lyric in this song. And I love how it's written in particular. It always leads into the swelling chorus, and yeah, I really like this song. One of my faves on the album for sure. Track 2, I Know It Won't Work. This track has guest production from Matthias Tilley, who is actually Girl in Red's main collaborator. I really like how the song starts with the first two verses before the chorus happens, as the verses are packed with very introspective lyrics and context. All of the info she kind of drops on us in the two verses kind of builds up, very much like the anxiety that Gracie is expressing. And then it leads to a very ranty confessional chorus, with Gracie finally figuring out how to say how she feels, which is that she and they, it seemed, were codependent. Track 3, Full Machine, is one of my favorite tracks as well. In this track, it's quite clear that her now fully finished relationship with Blake has taught her about herself and life in general. She admits that she's codependent, but she's trying hard not to be, and that she knows better that he's no guarantee. But she also knows that she would go easily if he asked her to run away with him. It's definitely giving early 20s self-awareness, but it's also showing what their relationship may have looked like over the years. I love the melody and her vocal performance on this track. Overall, past their specific relationship, I think this song really represents how being in a long-term relationship when you're a very young adult can very much shape your attachment style. I think especially for the girlies. Track 4, Where Do We Go Now, was the second single we got. Again, we have some guest production from Matthias Tilley, and I love the production on this track. Here, we definitely see the most blunt expression and representation of Gracie outgrowing her teenage relationship, but she's having trouble acting on her feelings. I don't always love repetitive choruses, but it makes a lot of sense on this track. I love how the bridge carries the song into its last chorus with some of Gracie's best writing to date. Great pop song. Track 5, I Should Hate You. As Gracie is a Swiftie, it feels right to think about Gracie's track 5 from a track 5 Taylor's version perspective. And it's definitely a very vulnerable track, as she is basically listing the ways this relationship has made her literally mentally ill. As the song progresses, the amount of times she says, I know I should hate you, in the choruses increases, representing how difficult it is to not have at least some semblance of love for this person. The song has that classic Aaron Dessner production that really helps the choruses give that kind of crazy energy that Gracie is describing feeling like. Track 6, Will You Cry, also one of my faves. This is quite the eerie guitar cut that continues with the themes of the relationship running its course, with Gracie expressing how she now sees /views /feels about this person she once loved. This is expressed best in the bridge for sure. Because she once loved this person, she knows she will cry when she leaves, but she's unsure if he will, with her asking him, would it not kill you to say goodbye? Implying that it will kill her, even though she's the one that has to do it for herself. Because ultimately, she's breaking the thing that she's codependent with, which is very much reinforced in the line, habits go slowly. Track 7, Amelie, was the third single. Now, there's some gay discourse. Is this song queer? Is this her coming out song? Like, ultimately, it doesn't really matter because it's a really great song. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. But also, like, queerness does not equate to just, like, I'm gay. It's a very nuanced thing and can very much exist in a sort of gray area. And I think the song could very much be reminiscent of multiple experiences of womanhood. Like, I very much get through some lines her talking to her younger self. I also very much get, like, a night, like, at a party she met a girl, like, was sitting on the couch with her and she never even asked her name, but she ripped Gracie open. I love how she sings that line, by the way. But then she says she doesn't know I'd let her ruin all my days. So ultimately, being gay is not that unique and special anymore, let's be real, especially for Gen Z. It's one of the best songs of the album, so it doesn't matter. Regardless of how Gracie identifies, this song is a slay. Track 8, Difficult, was the first single. The production is so, like, pop Evermore vibes. I think this track, out of all of the songs on the album, sounds the most Evermore-like to me. This song very much feels like you're living in Gracie's head, which is a testament to her writing abilities. The whole song is honestly giving me I'm So Sick of Myself from Jealousy, Jealousy from Olivia Rodrigo. Kind of if, like, that one line, I'm so sick of myself, was broken down into an entire song. I don't know why Olivia Rodrigo has come up in my last 2 videos. I don't know. Maybe it's something in the air. Maybe she's cooking up something. We're gonna get a surprise drop. I don't know. Track 9, This Is What the Drugs Are For. The opening guitar really reminds me of the opening guitar in Grimes's Delete Forever, a song about mourning the death of friends. And in many ways, this whole album is about Gracie mourning her relationship, especially given the lyrics in the second chorus, as well as verse 2. I wouldn't be surprised if the guitar is a reference or an inspiration or even a sample from Delete Forever. Track 10, Fault Line. In this track, we have Gracie very much acknowledging her and her ex's differences, while also reminding him, as well as herself, that she can break too, even though he's a fault line. He's much more naturally sensitive than Gracie is. It's such a good metaphor, and she, like, lyrically ties it in throughout the song in such beautiful, impressive ways. Track 11, The Blue. This is kind of the only true love song on the album, which makes sense as it's about her current boyfriend, Hayes Bradley, who is a DJ. It seems to be about the beginnings of their relationship. The last track, Right Now, has guest writing from Brian Eno, who coined the term ambient music in the 70s. This man obviously has insane credits. The chorus is actually quite uplifting lyrically, as we finally get to see Gracie having some sort of closure on her past life, which was her life in this 5-year on and off relationship the majority of the album is about. She goes from, because now I stop myself, from holding on to something that makes me feel a little less alive, in track 6, Will You Cry, to think I'm more alive somehow. I feel like myself right now. In this track, of course, her anxieties still remain, but it seems like in this song she's more comfortable living with that now that she's kind of learned why they're there and how to handle them. Very lovely closer, wraps up the album beautifully. I think this is like a really good debut album for Gracie. It's very cohesive, the writing is great, every track has lovely melodies and vocal performances from Gracie. It's definitely an improvement from her previous 2 EPs, and I think the choice to work with Aaron was the perfect one. I feel like she really proved herself and her spot in the music industry with this one. Like, I think this album proved that her having a famous father is unimportant because she is very talented in her own right. I'm gonna give this album an 8. Thank you so much for watching my video. As always, my TikTok and Instagram are linked below, alongside the link to my exclusive content on Sunroom, the app for female and non-binary creators to be able to be fully monetized for their content in an uncensored fashion. On there, I'm doing some vlog-like vids, more music discourse, behind the scenes, and much more. So if you want to check that out, the link for that is also in my bio. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!